All right, welcome. Today we're diving into a pretty wild idea. The reality itself has an operating system. We're calling it the Great Flow, and it might just be the invisible code that's running our entire universe. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. What if there was a kind of source code that laid out the rules for everything? From the stars in the sky to the stock market, and yeah, even your own personal growth. And what if you could actually learn to read that code? And you know, this isn't some new age concept. Thousands of years ago, ancient sages sensed this fundamental system. They call it the Tao, which literally just means the way. For our explainer, we're going to call it the Great Flow. It's that mysterious, formless potential that existed before anything else did. So let's translate this ancient wisdom into something we can really wrap our heads around today. Think of the Tao as the universe's source code. It's the potential that was all packed into the singularity right before the Big Bang. Or you could think of it as the invisible dark energy that's quietly pushing the cosmos apart. Either way, it's the silent, powerful force that's running the whole show from behind the scenes. Okay, so if reality is an operating system, what's the main program it's running? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple. It's a single, elegant cycle that seems to govern everything. It looks like pretty much everything follows the same three-part rhythm. There's a phase of outward expansion, then a peak, followed by a period of fading, and finally a return to its source, which often transforms it into something new. And this isn't just some abstract philosophy, right? It's a pattern you can literally see everywhere. And what's so wild is that this same pattern plays out on every scale. In nature, the universe expands from the Big Bang. Stars eventually burn out and fade, and through a massive supernova, they return their elements back to the cosmos to create new stars and planets. Then you've got business. A market expands with explosive growth, the industry matures and starts to fade, and then a game-changing innovation like AI triggers a powerful return. And it even happens to you personally. You expand your skills learning something new, then you hit that frustrating plateau and feel like you're fading. But if you push through, you return with true mastery. Okay, fine. This pattern is everywhere. But the real question is, so what? How does knowing this actually help us? Well, it turns out this ancient wisdom actually comes with a kind of user manual, a clear path to living in sync with this flow. You can think of it like a ladder of learning. You don't just jump in trying to understand quantum physics, right? No, you start with what's right in front of you and work your way up, simply by paying attention. So step one is all about learning from the earth. I mean, for thousands of years, this was just obvious. Take regenerative farming. It doesn't fight nature. It copies how a forest ecosystem works to build healthy, resilient soil instead of stripping it. And on a personal level, modern science is now confirming what we kind of always knew. Grounding, just walking barefoot on the earth, can actually reduce inflammation. The earth is our most direct teacher. So what's the next rung on that ladder? It's realizing that the earth itself learns from the cosmos. The planet's seasons, its tides, its very life are all dictated by the sun and the moon. We copy this when we build solar farms, turning cosmic sunlight directly into power. And you can do the same exact thing by syncing your sleep with the sunrise and sunset, getting your body back in line with its natural rhythm. And this goes all the way up. The cosmos itself learns from the Tao, from those basic, fundamental laws of physics. And this isn't some mystical, woo-woo idea. Think about it. SpaceX doesn't get to Mars by trying to fight physics. That would be impossible. It succeeds by aligning perfectly with the unchangeable laws of gravity and motion. It works with the rules of the Tao. And that really brings us to the most important point here. Alignment is way more powerful than just brute force. So let's get super practical. Here are 3 ways you can start aligning with the great flow in your own life, starting today. Okay, practice number 1 is all about shifting your perspective. You have to stop seeing isolated problems and start seeing the interconnected systems behind them. So for example, instead of just getting mad at a single red light, you can observe the whole rhythm of traffic flow to find a better, smoother route. Or if you see the patterns in your team's communication, you can step in and resolve conflicts before they even blow up. If you understand economic cycles, you'll have a much better idea of when to invest. In every case, you're working with the current, not fighting against. All right, number 2, adopt what we're calling cosmic timing. Look, the universe doesn't operate on a straight line of just endless grinding. It has seasons. And you should too. You know, our default mode is what you see on the left, this linear timing. It's the classic recipe for burnout, right? Just work hard, then work harder. But cosmic timing is way more strategic. It means you go all in with intense action during your personal spring and summer, like when you're launching a big project. But it also means you have to honor a winter, a time to pull back, rest, reflect, and plan for the next cycle. It's sustainable, not depleting. And finally, practice number 3, lead like nature. And this applies to everyone, whether you're a CEO, a parent, or just helping out a friend. So you've got the bad leader who's like a bulldozer. They micromanage, they force outcomes, and they demand results, but they kind of destroy the landscape in the process. But the Tao leader, they're more like a gardener. They don't scream at the seed to grow, they just create the right conditions. Good soil, water, sunlight, and then they trust the natural process to unfold. They empower instead of overpower.
And really, that's the whole ballgame. So much of our frustration in life comes from trying to control a system that's just infinitely bigger than us. But our greatest success and our deepest peace comes from learning how to align with its flow.
Because in the end, that's the nature of the great flow itself. It's not trying to be anything. It just is. It's self-regulating, self-correcting. Just like the quote says, unforced, perfect, and complete. Maybe our whole goal is just to become a conscious part of that same effortless power. So I'm going to leave you with a question to think about. Really think about this. If you just stop trying to control everything, to force and push every single outcome, what rhythm do you think your life would naturally find?